Hi, I'm Mike from Scoutadelic, but you already knew that. And if you didn't, well, I do a YouTube channel. I created it, and I've been doing this for nearly 5 years now. So who am I? I am Mike. I come from Hull, and I started off as a cub and a scout as a youth. Then obviously went to do my GCSEs, which are obviously exams over here, and then came back as a leader, originally as an assistant scout leader, and then I became a cub leader. I never thought about doing cubs, and it wasn't until we did like a group camp together that they asked me to go and just occupy the cubs for a few hours whilst the scouts put down tents. And at that point, I was on the edge of leaving scouting. I didn't really enjoy being an assistant scout leader, and I had the most fun with the cubs. It was the best 2 hours, to a point where as soon as I got home, I actually asked the question, do the cubs need any help? And I went. I then became an archaealer within 6 months. And yeah, it was the best experience I ever had. We did all sorts. So we started off with a small pack, and by I think the heyday of mine, we had about 40 to 50 Cub Scouts on the books, with roughly 6 young leaders and I think about 6 or 7 adult leaders as well. So we had a massive range of different people getting involved on sometimes a weekly or monthly or just camp basis. So why did I start Scoutadelic? So our cubs used to write in a diary, and it used to go home. They'd write what we did, and then obviously came back. And one year I took a year out to focus on my uni work. So I would pop by, but uni work was obviously my focus. And the year I came back, everything seemed to not gel as well. Some leaders were bickering between themselves. So I said, if we've done things before, we're not going to do it again. But I really love the idea of a diary, having something that we could look back on. So we did video diaries. So what we would do is we would record what we did on that night. I'd have a week to film and edit it, and then put it out on our YouTube channel so parents could see and the cubs could see what they got up to. And it kept on going. And on one week, we didn't do a great event. We basically did a game where they had playing cards, big giant playing cards, and the one who obviously got the smallest got a water bomb on the head. It wasn't amazing, brain surgery, stuff. And within a month, an Australian group had tweeted us to say that they'd seen our video and redid it over in Australia. And instead of water bombs, they had custard pies, and my mind just blew that because I'd posted it online for anyone to see on YouTube, it had, and that idea had spread. And whether they still do it today or not, or some variation, or whether they told other groups and they've obviously done it, I don't know how far that ripple went. But that was just one video, and it wasn't my best video. So I was like, well, I want to do something like this. So I had this idea that at the time it was very much strongly youth-shaped, getting youth involved and asking them, which is what scouting should be about. It should be asking what the youth want, and as leaders finding out, right, okay, they want to go to the moon, how do we do that? So I decided that with obviously the U-shape element, us leaders get a scout magazine, or used to, and it had tons of ideas. But if the leader didn't read the magazine, or they read the magazine but they don't use it, then how are the youth going to know that that is an option that they could do? So I thought, oh, why can't I merge the two? Have obviously this magazine, do it online, have it as a video that's about 20 minutes that people can just jump in, get inspired, and then hopefully take something out of it, whether it's just what we do, or maybe it inspires them to do something totally different in their nights. So that was the original idea. And I went to Gilwell Reunion, and I thought, right, I'm going to test this. I asked 5 random people that I'd never met, and I gave them my spiel of what I wanted to do with this. And most of them was like, this is great, we love it. So like, that's it, that's all I need. So I started it, and it was the scariest moment ever, because I'd set myself goals for my first year, and we hit one of them on my first day of it being launched. And it was just so weird. I'd met up with I went to Gilwell 24 that year with obviously our Explorer group, and there were people who knew me, who had seen me, and it was quite surreal that, you know, they were excited about seeing me, and I was just an ordinary scout. I still am. So yeah, it was just bizarre, and I just kept doing it. I kept on getting ideas or getting people involved, and the one thing I realised early on is ask. Sometimes people need that ask. You know, they won't fully go, oh, by the way, if you need anything. And so after my 3rd episode, I didn't know exactly where I was going or what I was doing next. And I was chatting to at that time, the Chief Commissioner of Wales, and I just asked, I said, do you want to be my co-host? And I got a reply going, yes. So I got my 4th co-host, and then it went from there. And yeah, people ask me who is my favourite co-host, and I can tell you now, I can't give you that answer. Every single one of them has a unique story or a unique thing that we've done together. The outtakes are hilariously funny, and obviously for most of them they will stay that way in my hard drive. No one will ever see what we do or how many outtakes I have to do. But it's there. Scoutadelic is there to inspire. And yes, it would be amazing if I got millions of subscribers and you know, viral videos galore and everything else, but it's not about that. If a video gets 1 view and that one viewer watches it and is inspired to do something different with their young people or with their section or group or district or county or whatever, wherever they are in the world, then isn't that enough? Isn't that what we're there for, to make that spark? And I can go back to obviously Cubs. One of my Cubs wanted to go into drama and dancing, but obviously he's a boy, so he was very much geared that actually that's not what boys do. And we took them down to London, and the first day we took them to a West End show, and he saw on stage boys and girls of all ages dancing and singing, and that sparked his imagination and realisation that he could do that. So he did. So when he got home, he couldn't stop talking to his parents about it, to a point where they enrolled him in a drama school. And I obviously now claim 5% of any future earnings that he makes if he ever, you know, becomes famous. But that is what Scoutadelic is about. It's about inspiring a person, or 10 people, or 100 people, or 1,000 people to, like I say all the time, be a little Scoutadelic. It's about seeing a box and thinking outside it. It's seeing a badge requirement and going, well, we can do it this way. It's getting a kid who wants badly to go to the moon to actually take them to the moon. Yes, we can't physically do it, but you can do it. It's lockdown, for example. You know, many scout groups are like, we can't do anything. we're contained, we're in our homes, but you can do all sorts of things. You've just got to change your view. It's not a straight line, scouting. It weaves, you know. If you're on a camp and something happens, you respond, you automatically know what to do. So why can't you do that now? Or why can't you do that at the hall? Why can't you change things up? If you're doing the same thing every single year, why can't you change it? Why can't you think, you know what, it works, but let's try it this way. What's going to happen? Let's see what the Cubs or the Scouts or the Beavers think of this. So I think there's one thing that I leave you today, if you've got this far, is be inspired by anything. The best ideas are borrowed or stolen or whatever you want to call it. If you see a good idea, take it. If you like it as it is, then copy it. If you want to tweak it because you think it doesn't work with your age range, then tweak it. There's that many things out there that you can make a difference. You can make that ripple. And if you make sure that you tell your Cubs that they owe you 5% of any future earnings if they go down this path, then, you know, you're sorted for retirement. I hope you inspire someone. And scouting, I think you don't realise how far that ripple goes. Like going back to obviously the Australian Scouts, I don't know if they still do that. But if they do, then I've made that difference. So how many other differences have I made in the world? Be a little Scoutadelic.